Boss battles in Helldivers 2. All right, Micho. We did boss battles. We talked about it before, but now I want to talk to you about the experiences that we had and what we did specifically. And the first thing I want to talk to you about is Bile Titans. Do you remember trying to land on top of them with a jetpack?
Yeah, dude, I tried it over and over and over again, and it was a lot of fun, but I think I failed, well, all of the times, I think. I don't know, did I do good?
No, you didn't. And that's not your fault. It just doesn't work.
I tried to stick some landings, but it wasn't having it.
I think you die as soon as you hit the Bile Titan. If you hit it from the top, I think it just instantly kills you. That's the experience we were having at the time.
I was getting concussed. Like, I think I have a little montage of me just getting slaughtered over and over and over again. It was fun doing it, though. Just the excitement of jumping off a particular building or rock and trying to get more air to ultimately get on top of him. And I think the reason why I wanted to be on top of him a lot of the times was because didn't I have the jabby spear? I had the spear, didn't I?
Uh-huh.
And I was trying to spear him to death, but I couldn't even land on his fucking head.
Do you know how cool that would have been if we could have landed on top of a Bile Titan and stabbed it to death?
Could I tell you something? I think that probably would have been the coolest thing I've ever done in my life, like outside of the video game too. It would just be, it would be the highlight. It would have made it for me. I would have been a better man, but instead I failed. So here I am.
Well, that's not the only thing we did with Bile Titan. The very first thing we did when you and I wanted to find bosses, we're like, let's figure out how to do this. Maybe we'll figure out a cool way to take out a Bile Titan. We went to the level 4 missions, and we're looking all over the map for something to do. How are we going to kill this Bile Titan? And we found a Hell Bomb.
Lo and behold.
Let's lure it to the Hell Bomb. That's a great idea. Mm-hmm. Well, in our setup, that Hell Bomb blew up, and we didn't get to use it.
It got ruined, man.
Which was really unfortunate.
It got ruined. Our plan went kaput.
But we found another Hell Bomb.
Yeah, dude. Total blessing.
And then tell them what we did.
So if I'm not mistaken, we were set up at a fixed position on some solitary rock structure. Mm-hmm. And I had to lure the Bile Titan in with a fast recon vehicle.
Yeah.
But I had to lead it to this Hell Bomb. And I remember, finally getting its attention, getting it to follow me, and just seeing it come into your view as you're prone. I'm inches away from this thing, you let it rip, and it just decimates him, and it's cinematically an emancipation in my pants.
Dude, that was so cool because it had no fucking idea I was there, and then the next minute that shit's dead.
Mm-hmm. It felt cool.
Yeah, I think that was the coolest part, is trying to plan the ways to take these things out. Mm-hmm. Like planning the route to bring it to the Hell Bomb, or trying to land on top of it so we can stab it. Or the best idea that we've had that was given to us by Pharaoh, of course. Mm-hmm. Burning one with a flamethrower.
Dude.
Do you remember that mission?
It was I think truly the most fun I've ever had playing this game with you. It was such a surreal, cinematic masterclass of a gameplay experience because it felt like that duty. It felt like that level in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, where I think ghillie suits were really first introduced. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
It was like that sneak level where you had to hide from a majority of the enemies for the sake of sniping primary targets towards like the end of it. Doesn't matter. It was a stealth mission.
Right.
And you had to move very quietly and often quickly to avoid detection, and then ultimately being slaughtered by an insurmountable amount of enemies surrounding you. And that's what we experienced. We were crawling through so many different aspects of this map, with patrols passing us, trying to get as close to this Bile Titan without actually getting it to notice us. And we got all the way up to it. We worked our way literally underneath its gonads.
It did not see us.
No. And then what do we do?
Oh, and then we torched it.
We sent him straight to hell.
We had a little cookout, a little pig roast.
Dude, I would have eaten that. That's a bountiful harvest over some rice, some steamed jasmine.
That was such a cinematic moment, but it didn't last long. I died real quickly.
I mean, ultimately we got filleted, but we took this sucker out in the most interesting way I think we could have thought in that moment. It was a stealth flamethrower mission? What the fuck?
The only thing that probably could have been cooler is if like we stealthed the Hell Bomb and then got out of there in time, but we had a great time.
We weren't equipped. I didn't have a Hell Bomb in my pants. Did you have a Hell Bomb in your pants?
No, we just want to burn them, dude. But talk to me about the ATAVs. They kind of have a boss battle now, the convoys.
AT-AT. What do you say? AT-AV? And it's AT-AT?
I said ATAV, but it's ATAT.
Why don't you get with the program? All right, so you like the big Star Wars walkers, is what you're saying. You love
Yeah,
those
they're
things.
cool. The convoys, they're basically a boss battle, right?
Yeah, it's one of the coolest submissions that Papa Arrowhead, pardon me, could have additioned to the game. I really look forward to it. Well, I mean, we'll often now look for missions that have that as a submission, just because we want to play something with that. Because you have a time limit of this convoy of AT-ATs walking across the map, and you have a limited time to finish them off before they leave forever. And there's 4 of them. They're often associated with patrols, and they're a great opportunity for you to do exactly what we just said we enjoy doing, planning out attacks. And that's exactly what we did, because I think we tried to take them out in a multitude of different ways. And there's probably still more ways to do it.
Yeah, like obviously we had the anti-tank emplacements at one point. We did the anti-tank mines with them, so we were trying to have them walk over the mines. They were kind of disappointing to a degree because, and tell me if you feel differently, but they felt like they should have been the main mission. Because after we took down this herd of them, there's like 4 or 5 of them, I felt like we should have mission accomplished, time to extract. But the fact that it was just like a little side thing to do.
It's just because it's super cool and it happens to be a side thing. So yeah, I think in a perfect world, that was given the primary focus and quite frankly bolstered from there with like the amount, like you're truly like make huge valleys, right? And really have a genuine military convoy with a ton of enemies. Given whatever map or planet you pick, you know, it depends what situation you're going to be in from a terrain perspective. Where you can really like set up encampments to tackle this large hostile enemy force. That'd be cool.
The most cinematic thing we did though with the AT-ATs was we got 2 recon vehicles, and we had one person on the gun in the back and one person driving, and we kind of did these circles around it.
We're doing donuts, man, around these things. Felt cool.
It felt like, you know, in Star Wars when they actually wrap that shit's legs together.
Of course, that's all we're missing.
Right. I wish we could have put.
They
like,
do that. Chef's kiss. There, I've gone and made a mess again.
But I think, in my opinion, that was the coolest cinematic thing we've done that we're going to talk about today.
Well, you also drove underneath it with a hell bomb. I don't know if you mentioned
Did not
that.
drive
That was cool.
underneath it.
Didn't you kamikaze
ran.
it?
I ran.
Oh yeah, you jogged it in.
Yeah. So the first time I tried to do it, I got fucking sniped. And then you called me back. I grabbed the hell bomb, I ran in, and I was like, I think you were annoyed because what we were trying to do was get underneath it with the hell bomb, and it wasn't working. Like,
no,
to
we were getting slaughtered. We were getting truly slaughtered. And you made it work though. It was cool to see you do what you did.
So you were annoyed, right? And I could tell you were getting annoyed, and I was like, okay, I just have to try this right now. And I did it. I run underneath.
You saved it. You were the hero, man.
And I was like, dude, I did it. Now I don't know what to do. And you're like, what do you mean? And I realized I had a lot of time to get out of there, so I ran out and I got this cinematic explosion. You're like, I'm glad you saw it. I didn't see shit.
Yeah, turns out you didn't have to die. Luckily, that timer on it gives you just enough time to get the hell out of there.
It would have been cool if I hadn't died, but it was okay that I didn't have to. What about the Hulks?
The Hulks are fucking kick-ass because they are either really hard or really easy. They're kind of an anomaly in that sense, because Hulks can either be not an issue at all or a true burden. And limiting ourselves in the way that we did kind of gave them more power, which felt nice. Like trying to take them out with senators and like purposefully maybe not aiming for their critical spots. That was cool.
Yeah, I think like Hulks were kind of tough because they are fairly easy to take down. Most weapons in the game, you can find a way to take down a Hulk. We did try to do senators, but we agreed like, okay, let's not hit the eye. Let's not go for the weak spot. Maybe we can hit the battery on the back, but that required another person to be distracting him, so we had this kind of back and forth. But yeah, I wish there was... Somebody in the comments probably has a better way we could take down the Hulks, which I'd be interested to hear.
Or just think of a fun way, I guess.
Yeah, and I'll try it. If somebody gives us a good idea, I'll try it. Speaking of another one that was maybe just a little disappointing, or just harder to plan out a route, was the Impalers.
There's only so much you can do, you know? Once they're a solid, they don't move, so you can really do whatever you want. We tried to do that donut thing with the recoilless rifles, right?
Yeah, we tried to launch a recoilless rifle from a vehicle,
Which
and
in theory is cool.
yeah, it was cool, but it like felt not super impactful.
Correct. Well, the impaler is really, I think, meant to be supplemental with like bolstering other units on the field to act as,
That's a good point.
you know, they're meant to kind of cause chaos in a sense and have you dodging it when you should be focusing on the other enemies. So I think an impaler flourishes more when it is bolstered by other enemy forces. Trying to take one out solo, mano a mano, as long as you're rightfully equipped, it's fairly easy.
Yeah. Taking out with the senators though was kind of a challenge. Just you and I. We tried to senator only, and we did,
Yeah.
which was cool.
It's got a lot of HP. It takes a lot of damage.
We also had a cool hellbomb moment. The portable hellbomb's awesome.
It is nice. It is nice. What did we do with the hell with impalers?
We drove a friend up to an impaler.
Oh, he got on top of it.
Another friend jumped on top and distracted it so it wouldn't move.
Yeah.
And then somebody, I think I dropped the bomb underneath it. All right, last but not least, we have the harvesters.
Dude, they're tough, I think. I think they're tough. They're not the easiest thing. They're not impossible, but they're a son of a bitch.
By far the hardest ones.
We were getting frustrated.
Yeah. Well, we tried to take them out with snipers and the Deadeye. So like a combination of like marksman rifles. And we tried not to go for the like legs, if I'm correct.
I think we tried both just to determine, you know, what was more useful. Shooting its legs or shooting its big old eye. I mean, you'll do damage either way, but the point is it just takes a lot of shots.
Yeah, and you kind of get overran by the rest of the voteless.
Yeah, absolutely. Focusing on harvesters while there's so many voteless running around, and then throw some overseers on the mix, especially when it's attacking you from a distance, you don't have the luxury of time to plan out coordinated ways. I mean, outside of, okay, you can argue, well, again, mind you, we're trying to think of just ways where we're limited and we're not taking them out easily. You can easily throw any type of ordnance at these things and take them out. But timing things like popping its shield and then you shooting a recoilless rifle or something like that, teamwork in tandem like that is kind of cool, where you can coordinate one person popping shields and then switching to primary offense to try to take it out before the shield come back. All that kind of stuff is fun.
Yeah, no, it's definitely fun, and I think it's cinematic. Like, I tried to do the Harvester with a Deadeye solo, and it's doable. It's definitely doable. I couldn't do it. I kept dying to the laser or various circumstances, but it's definitely doable, and you have a lot of cinematic moments where you're hiding behind cover, and then you're peeking, and then it's shooting this big laser at you. So it's definitely a lot of fun. I want to know, what was your favorite way to take down?
A harvester?
Just in general, any of the bosses.
Well,
quote.
while we're on the subject of harvester, I really find it to be a cool moment to be able to stick it with a thermite, because it's not the easiest thing to do with them. You can do it, but it's rare, and I finally got to stick a few of them while their shields were down.
Okay.
And watching them pop because you hit them with the thermite grenade is actually quite satisfactory. So that was really fun to see and do. Outside of that, I think my favorite boss encounters in general and things that I'm looking to see more of is anything Bile Titan related. The convoys, again, I would love to see an expansion on that. Quite frankly, the Illuminate, we have the harvesters and they're great and obviously difficult, but I'm looking for something more, again, under that quote-unquote boss title.
What are you guys looking for in the chat? Tell us, and also tell me the coolest way you took down an elite enemy in this game.
Dumb decisions.